Hey everyone, in this video we will take a look at some weird things in JavaScript. So you might be using JavaScript for years and years now, but I bet you didn't know some of these things that I'm going to show you in these videos, and I also didn't know that they are possible in JavaScript. So like JavaScript is a very forgiving language as it does not throw you any error, like it tries to not throw you an error at all, but it sometimes like throw you in runtime, which is quite frustrating. But yeah, in this video, we will see a lot of weird and quirky things which is possible and which are available in JavaScript. So it will be a fun video. So let's start with the first one. The first one, I think a lot of you already know this. It is a comparison between an integer and a string. So I will write over here console log, and I will write 1 double equals to 1. So this will already this will return true. So let me just run it, and in the terminal over here you can see it returns true. But in this video I will also explain why the output is true, and I will explain each and every like weird things. So let's see and let's understand why this gives us true. So it is pretty basic and it is pretty simple. It just convert this because for example this is a double equal to. Okay, so in JavaScript there are two types of comparison, a double equal to and a triple equal to. In double equal to, it will try to convert one data type into another. So in this thing, it is just converting this string to a number. So what is happening is this is an integer or this is a number, and this is also becoming a number because JavaScript is converting it into it. So that's why it is giving us true. But if I will just write triple equal to here, now this is a strict comparison. So this will return into a false. So because number is not equal to a string. So I mean there is a lot of weird things which are possible with the help of this loose comparison, and we will see a lot of them in this video. Now the second one I want to show you is let me just write something like something just basic over here. Just write so type of 1. So what do you like imagine what will be the output of this is? It will be a number. Okay, so it will be a number, you are right. But what if I will write another type of let's say another type of this is a weird thing that it is possible in JavaScript. So can you imagine like what is the output of this? It will return the same thing as the number or anything else. So let's try it and see what will happen. So as you can see, it is now returning string. The first one is a number and then now it is a string. That's because this thing over here will return number. Okay, this number which is a string. So then this type of will treat this string or this number as a string. So for example, this thing will become this. Okay, this which is a string, and now the type of this will be a string which is returning right here. And you can similarly add like any amount of type ofs, and then let's say write a number over here, and this will return you a string. So as you can see, it will return you a string, and like you can see how weird it looks already. Let's just see one more thing over here. Now let's see some array things. So in JavaScript we can write an array as in square brackets, and you can write any value over here. A Copilot is already recommending me this array. So here I will change this array over here. I will write something like unsorted array, which is 10 9 5 5 5 something random. Okay, and after that what I will write, I will try to sort it. So I will write array dot sort. Okay, and then console log this exact array. Okay, let's save it and try to run it. So what will happen? It will simply sort it, right? So let's see if it sorts or not. So as you can see, the array is not sorted, and somehow the smallest element, which is 9, is at the back. So why is it? And the reason behind it is that if you are applying this sort function to any array, it will compare with the help of it will compare on the basis of string. So first it will convert these elements into string. So the 10 becomes a string of 10, the 9 becomes a string of 9, and this 555 becomes a string of 555. Now it will compare the first digit and sort it with the help of that. The first digit of 10 is 1, the this one is 9, and this one is 5. So it is sorting with the help of that. So as you can see, the 1 is at the first, then 5, and then 9. But yeah, if you want to sort it normally, like you want all the numbers to be sorted, you can add a callback function inside this sort one. So what you want to do is you want to add a callback function, and then you can give a minus b. That's it. In this way, your numbers, your array will be sorted according to the numbers, and not, it will not convert it to strings. Okay, so now let's run it again, and now as you can see, it has been sorted perfectly. So how does it work, like how does it work while subtracting these two numbers? So let's see. So what it is doing is just taking two numbers and subtracting them. So let's say these two numbers, it will take these two numbers 10 and 9 and subtract that. So 10 minus 9, so let me just write over here. So 10 minus 9 equals 1, which is a positive number. Okay, so take this in mind, it will like absorb positive and negative numbers. So this is a positive number, so for positive it will add this b, whatever this b element at first. So this b was 9, so it has added b, which is 9 at first, and then 10 at the last. Then what will it will take, it will take 10 and 555. So then it will take 10 minus 555, so this will become minus 545. This is a negative number. In negative number, it will take a first and then b at second. So a is 10, so as you can see, a is becoming here a is 10, so 10 is coming first, and then after that there is 555. So this is how it will work, and this is how you can like sort an integer array normally. So yeah, that's not a weird thing, but yeah, also kind of weird, so I have included that as well. And one more thing I want to add, like I want to show you, is comparison operators between some data types. So let's just write over here console log, and then I will write over here undefined. Let me just turn off this copilot over here. Okay, so here I will write undefined, and I will write double equal to and undefined. So what will you think, like what it will return? So let's see, and I will just comment this out, and you can see after running this program it returns true, because it is pretty, like it is just making sense to return this as true. They are both undefined, and undefined means that they have, like it have no value at all, no data type, no value at all, and this will simply return true, which makes sense. Similarly, this is for null. So if you just try to compare two null values, it will also return true because they are both null. But this is not true for nan, and nan stands for not a number, and this thing is not true for nan. So if you are comparing two nan, it will give you false. So as you can see, false. And this is a weird thing in JavaScript. So you can see these two things will give you true, but this one not. And you try to add a strict comparison as well to all of these three. This one, let's save it and run it again, it will end up in the same result. So yeah, this is also one of the weird and quirky things in JS. The next thing will be an interesting one. So we will try to get the value of null. So what is the value of null exactly? What null is exactly? So the undefined, let me just try to explain what undefined is. So if you just write let a and just try to console log a, it will give you undefined because you haven't set any value to it. Now there comes null in place over here. You can use null to like give it some value which you are going to replace in future. So you are confirming that it is not undefined, because this is a like a wrong thing to have undefined in your source code and undefined in your project. So it is better to have null rather than undefined. So that's why we use null. So that's not the point which I am making. So the point is we are trying to get the value. So I'm just writing true and then adding it null to it. So can you guess what will the output is? The output will be 1. A lot of you have already guessed it, because true will be converted to 1, and then null, which is like not a value at all, it will convert to 0. Okay, this will be converted to a number for 0. Let me show you, let me prove it to you. I will write 2 into null. Okay, so I am multiplying 2 to a null value, so it will return 0 to me. As you can see, it is returning 0. So that confirms that 0, like null, is 0. Let me confirm you once more if you are having some issues, like if you are not satisfied enough. So I will write 2 divided by null. So what happens when you divide a number by 0? It will return you infinity. So as you can see, it is giving me infinity. So that confirms that null is a 0, right? So if I just write this thing over here, let me just write this thing, 0 double equals to null. So this should give me true, because null is 0, right? So let's run it, and no, it is false. So null, if you just try to add in mathematical equations, it will like work as a 0, but you just try to compare it to 0 itself, it will give you false. So just a weird like concept in JS. Yeah, I don't know why it is there, but yeah, this is there in JS. And one more thing that I want to show you is some types of number that you can create, or some like binary type or decimal type and hexadecimal. So you can also create, and this is not a weird thing, but yeah, this is a way to write numbers. So this is not a weird or quirky thing at all. So what you can write is, you can write 0 and add a O, or you can add a capital O as well, but I will write a small o, and then add any number, and the digits should be between 0 and 7. So if I'm just writing 1 7, so this is a valid number in JS. Okay, so if I just run it, it will equal to 15, and you will guess like how does it equals 15. It is an octal number. Okay, this O stands for octal. You can as well write a capital O as well, it will return the same thing. So this O means octal. So 1 7 is a decimal number, and it is converting it to an octal number. So just multiply it. Let me just write it over here. So to convert this in an octal number, I will write 7 into let me write in comments. So 7 into 8 and to the power of where is the single power? So yeah, this, and then 1 into 8 to the power of 1. So this will equals to 15. So this will equal to 7 plus 8, okay, which is 15. So this is the exact value that I am getting here. So as you can see how this is converted into decimal, and how it works. Similarly to octal, you can have hexadecimal as well. So for hexadecimal, you can add x. Now it is converted into hexadecimal. So you can see over here. And similarly, so this is a hexadecimal number itself, it is converting it into decimal. Alright, and then similarly you can add binary numbers as well. In JS, you can write 0b and then any binary number. So let's say 1010. So let's see what will be the output of it is. So yeah, it equals 10. So this is how you can like write binary numbers, decimal, hexadecimal and octal numbers. And for decimal, you can just simply write a number. That's the decimal, right? So this is not a weird thing, but yeah, something that I want to share to you. But what is weird is this thing over here. I'm writing console log, then I will write 018 minus 015. Now in this VS Code, it is giving me an error, but I will I want to take you to a JS compiler, an online compiler, and show you there. So I will just search for a JS compiler, search for this programmis. Let's zoom a little bit, and here instead of this thing I will write, okay, so I will write this thing over here, and try to run it. So can you guess what will be the output is? So it will return me 5. So you can like guess, if you just convert it to normal numbers, 18 minus 15, it should me like it should give me 3, but why it is 5? Let's just understand why it is 5. So this 18, like as I have told you, the octal number is represented as this one, 0 So by default JavaScript will try to convert these two numbers to octal. Okay, and there is one thing to remember, that in octal you cannot have a digit greater than 7. So this 018 is an invalid octal number. So what JavaScript will try to, it will just try to make it a normal number. So this 18, okay, so this 018 will become 18, okay, a normal 18, and this 015, it will try to convert it to an octal number because all the digits are less than and or equal to 7. So this 15 will be an octal number. So let's convert it to an octal number. So 5 into 8 to the power of 0 plus 1 into 8 to the power of 1. So this will give you 5 plus 8, okay, which is 13. So this 18, so this 018 is 18 and this 015 is actually 13, and now you can guess it, 18 minus 13 equals 5. So now you can see how this calculation is working. And yeah, this is giving me an error in VS Code, but you can try it in this online compiler. So yeah, this is also weird, like I don't know why this exists, it just should me give error in every compiler, but yeah, for some reason I'm able to do that. And let's go to our next weird thing in JS, which is to do with objects. So let me just write a console log first. If you try to print an object, an empty object, okay, it will simply return me this exact object, which is an empty object. That's correct. And if I just try to print the type of it, let's write a type of object, and you guessed it, it will return me object. But the weird thing is, if you just try to like get the type of an array, it will also return me object. So there is a no type called array in JS, okay. Whenever you are writing an array, whenever you are writing an object or a function, all those will be a type of object. Why is it? Because in array you can see we have several functions or several methods. For example, you have push, pop, remove, and append and sort, like everything. And this is a like built-in object in JS. So that's why the object, the type of for array is object. That's not what I'm showing to you. I would just show you this thing. If I just write an empty object and then write double equal to and add a string, let's say, and like you might be wondering that what the hell it is and what it will return. It will just return simply false because it's an object and it's a string, so it will just simply return false. But you might be wrong because it will return you true. So as you can see, it is returning me true. Now let's understand how it works. And if you're just trying to write a triple equal to, you can see it will also like always return false. So this is only possible with a loose comparison with double equal to's. So let's see how it works and why is it possible. So the first reason is to see what will JavaScript give us when I'm trying to convert empty object to a string. So I will write over here string, and then inside it I will pass an empty object. So this will try to convert this empty object to string. So this will give me this exact string over here, as you can see. And now, yeah, now you guessed it, it is just converting this object to string and then comparing it to this string. So that's why it is returning true. So I hope you guess, you get it, why it is returning me true. The next weird thing is this one. and it is pretty similar to this object thing. So I'm trying to equate true to an empty array. So you might be thinking that this empty array might equal to 0 and then true is 1. So this like should return me false. Let's see, it returns me false. So you are right, because yeah, this is exactly what is happening. An empty array, when you are comparing it to anything or any number, empty array represents 0 and true represents 1, so they are unequal. So this gives me false, which is correct and which makes totally sense, right? But what if I just add a boolean, I just add a not operator, and now you will be wondering that yeah, now it will return true. So let's say it, and no, it is still returning me false. This is a weird thing. And if I just writing this over here, so I'm writing this double equal to this will give me true. You can see this is giving me true. How weird it is. Let's see how it works, because it is a pretty like weird concept in JS. So how does array works is that whenever you are writing a single empty array, it will convert it into an integer 0. And like whenever I am adding a not operator like at the beginning, this not operator will first convert this array into a boolean. Let me just write two statements here and you will understand exactly how it works. So the first one is this: an empty array, okay, an empty array as a number equals to 0, which is totally fine and which makes a lot of sense. But the interesting part is an empty array as a boolean, you will guess like it will return false, because for number it is 0 and for boolean it should be false, but for boolean it is true. Okay, this is a weird thing in JS, and like I don't know why it is there. It should be false, but for some reason it is true. So yeah, if you treat an empty array as a number, it is 0, but as a boolean it is true. This is exactly what is happening over here. So let me zoom a little bit over here. So that was fine. So yeah, so this empty array is becoming true. So it is first true, then you are adding and not operator, so this true will become false. Okay, so this is something like, so true double equal to false, and this will give you false. Okay, so this will give you false, so that's why we were getting false over here. And if you are just trying to understand this statement over here, why it is returning true, so this one is 0 because it is treated as a number, and this thing is converted to boolean first, then false, and then 0. So these two things are exactly the same thing, so that's why it is returning me true. And this is just a weird concept that I found in JS. The next weird thing is to convert the same empty array to one. Like, let me just show you what I mean. So I will write over here, you can convert anything to a number with the help of this number function over here. So number, and then you can write over here and empty array. So let's run it, and you can see it is pretty similar what you were thinking. 0, so the array is converted to 0. Now I will just duplicate it down and I will write boolean. Okay, not over here, here. Okay, so boolean, and then this thing. Now you will see we are converting the same empty array to two different values. Okay, so it is giving me an error. Okay, so yeah, I have written the spelling of boolean incorrect. Alright, so let's run it again. So yeah, now as you can see, we have converted this same empty array to two different values, 0 and 1. How weird it is. So let's see it. So let's see at yet another weird thing, and this is like not a weird thing. I mean, if you have come so far into this video, you might know what will be the output of this function will be. So I'm writing 1 less than 2 and then adding one more less than 3, or we might just reverse it. Let me just write something like this: 3 greater than 2 and then greater than 1. So can you guess what will the output of it is? You might think that this will return true, but you will be wrong. It is false. And you might guessed it already, because 3 greater than true, which is true. So it will return true. And true, what is true is, it is 1. So 1 greater than 1, which is not true. 1 is equal to 1, not greater than 1. So that's why it is giving me false. So that was like pretty common and like not a weird thing, but yeah, kind of weird as well. And the next thing is pretty common in many languages, not only in JS. So this is if you're just adding two two float numbers, and you will get a weird output. So I'm just writing 0.1, 0.2. It should it should give me 0.3, but it is returning me this long number which is 0.3000004. So why is it? And not only JavaScript, a lot of languages like Python and C++ as well do these, because they all are following same rules for floating numbers. So this only happens for floating numbers, not for integers. So if you're just adding two floating numbers, what the JavaScript does also, and for the all the languages, they convert the float number to a binary. And to convert a float number to a binary, or to a decimal number, sorry, a float number to a binary, it is a tough task. So they are adding few digits, or like you can imagine, when this 0.1, so when this 0.1 is converting into binary, they are converting in just bigger than 0.1. So the value that they get, the value that JavaScript get, is just enough, like just bigger than JS. It is very small, and you can see it is very small, but yeah, it is bigger than 0.1. And similarly for 0.2. And yeah, when you add those two numbers, then the difference becomes, then like the difference or the error also adds up, and this will shows over here. And if you want to fix it, you can do something like this. You can get this value in a variable, let's say a, and you can use a function called toFixed. So I will write a dot toFixed and add it the number that you want to fixed in the decimal. So I want this to be fixed at two places. Let's run it, and you will see it will give me 40. Okay, so I am writing over here 0.3. Let's just write 0.2. So yeah, this is giving me decimal up to two places. If I just write over here 1, it will just give me one place. So this is how you can like fix this error. Now the last but not the least thing in this video, or a weird thing in JavaScript, is to do like adding two arrays together. So let's do that. I will write 1 2 3. Okay, and over here I will write one more array called 4 5 6. So if I just write like this, you might think that it will just concatenate these two arrays, so these two arrays, and just return me like the concatenated array. Let's see. You can see what it is returning me. It's a pretty weird output. You can see 1 2 34. So just adding the last and the first element of this together, and this returning. So this is not actually an array, this is actually a string. Let me just confirm you. Okay, so let me just write a new variable. Let's say b equals this, and I will write over here type of b. Okay, let's say type of b. So this is a string. You can see this is not an array. So what it does is JavaScript just adds whatever in the arrays and it takes the comma as well, and then convert it into a string. So you can see 3 and 4 does not have a comma because 3 is the last element, so it doesn't have a comma at the last place as well. So that's why there is no comma in between there. And yeah, I mean, you should not be able to do that, but yeah, it is possible in JS. So I think that's pretty much it in this video. One more thing that I want to show you, which is to like subtract two strings, which are not actually string but numbers. So yeah, if I'm just writing a number as string, let's say 22, and then subtracting it, let's say I'm subtracting 11 from 22 as a string, it will return me 11 because it is converting it to number. What is interesting is you can add another minus over here and it will just add it, so now it will become 33. So it is pretty weird, so that you can add as much minus as you want. So yeah, something like this, and it will return you the value that will be calculated. So you can see it is still 33, and if I just add one more minus, now it will return 11. So this is pretty weird in JS. So I mean, yeah, we have seen a lot of weird things. If you still have some like quirky things that you know, and like there's no information about that on internet, you can comment me. You can write a comment about it down below. And yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please give a like, subscribe to my channel, it will help me a lot. And if you have any idea that I will make a video on, that I might make a video on, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one.